Arthur and Chester for babysitters for us at times. I can remember Uncle Chet locking me in the basement, and I was absolutely terrified, but it was punishment for me. He thought that was so funny. And then I had to make my own bed, and he must have been treated this way at boarding school, because if my bed wasn't perfect, he'd strip everything off of it, and I'd cry, and then he'd have me make it over again. Well, he taught me to make a bed, and to this day I want my bed made that way. So, just a young kid. How old was he? He was born in 1912, so he was only 12 years old when I was born. Going back in time to 1923, Grandma Smith, STORRS, previous to that, maiden name LaChance, was living in 425 Queen Anne, the bottom of the hill. My grandfather Smith was out of the Navy, and that's where they were living. Aunt Frances and my mother, Viola, after graduating from high school, went to work in the laundry. Hard work. My mother became an ironer. They dated friends, but they brought their dates home. And it was the custom in our family, whoever came by, why, invite them to dinner. And in order to make space at the table, they had a big oak table that would open up. They would take two chairs with a space between them and put a board so it could add seats. Aunt Frances married Alvin Slate, who was from Kansas, and my mother dated Archie Murray, who was from Connecticut. My father was on the USS Pennsylvania. It was a battleship. Bremerton was the home port, so when his ship came in, my mother met him. So Mother and my dad married. In those days, women marcelled their hair. Mother's hair was long down to her past her waist at one time, Aunt Frances too. In fact, they had porcelain dolls when they were younger. Grandma cut their hair and made wigs for the dolls out of their hair. I'd like to have those myself now. So they married and lived at Grandma LaChance's house until Dad got out of the Navy. When I was born, he was in the Navy. And then shortly after that, they moved to Connecticut.
Good old summertime, in the good old summertime, strolling through the shady lane with your baby mine. You hold her hand and she holds yours, and that's a very good sign that she's your tootsie-wootsie in the good old summertime.